So Rudy, first of all, thank you for being a longtime listener to the show. It's so great you came all the way up here to Shag Harbour and for this conference from West Virginia, right?
Yes, wow, Wheeling, West Virginia.
And was that did you have to stop a lot of times, or how many flights?
Philly to, from Pittsburgh to Philly, Philly to Halifax, and then 3 hours down. So I started about 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, God.
And I got here about 5:30, but 1 hour off, so it was about a 12-hour trip. Not too bad.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm glad you say you've been listening for about 5 years.
Yeah, at least 5 or 6 years. About the time I got to West Virginia. So.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for that. And it's always great to meet people that listen to the show. I really enjoy doing that. But so you told me about you started, I didn't hear the whole thing, but I'd like to hear, you had a UFO encounter, and I love to put these out there.
Sure.
So let's hear, you were 9 years old?
I was about 9 years old. It was sometime about 1978. Happened to get up early in the morning. It was dawn. Happened to kind of stroll into the living room. We had a big picture window. And I kind of sat backwards on the couch and put my knees up on the couch and put my elbows on the windowsill. And I was just kind of looking out onto the horizon. And so the sun was behind the house, so it was shining over the house into the horizon. And I remember seeing a very, very bright, large object that just immediately caught my attention. I had no idea what it was, and so I sat there looking at it for quite a while. And it was moving very slowly, no blinking lights, and it just kept moving very slowly across the horizon. It turned out my mother's boyfriend, a guy named Scott Drish, was a wonderful guy. Happened to be awake as well, and he saw that I was sitting on the couch looking at something out in the sky, and obviously I was staring at something, and so he came over and asked me what I was looking at. And he saw the same thing and thought to himself, well, what is that? And so I think Scott at the time, he was in his 20s. Anyway, we sat there and watched it and remarked how slow it was moving. And then one point it just stopped and sat there and hovered. And at that point, we start asking ourselves, is that a helicopter? And it just didn't look like a helicopter. It was just too big. It was too bright. There are no blinking lights. And it sat there for, gosh, at least a couple of minutes. And Martin, I tell you, if I would have blinked, I would have missed it. But all of a sudden, in an instant, that light just shot straight up into the atmosphere. It moved so fast that it faded as it accelerated and went up, and it was gone in an instant.
And so what did your mother's boyfriend say when he saw that?
He was shocked. I was shocked. It's funny, at my age, I don't think I knew what to think.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's
because
young, yeah.
Honestly, for years after that, I always remembered it, but I didn't appreciate the significance of it. And I ended up going into engineering. I've been a material science engineer for the last 30 years or so.
Wow.
And as I've gone into that discipline, the significance of that event has continued to grow. And it was about 2013 when I got connected with Alejandro's UFO conference.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah.
probably about every other year has gone out to the. I've gone out to the Phoenix
Yep.
conference.
Mhm.
We got kind of waylaid by the COVID for a little
Right.
bit, but for about 10 years now, I've been a avid UFO enthusiast. I've been reading as many books as I can. I was reading Chris Bledsoe's book
Oh, yeah.
as I came here, which I learned about from your show.
Oh, yeah.
I learned a couple of just read through Lou Elizondo's Imminent. And as I've got
That's
older,
good.
especially the physics and material science part of it, that brief incident has really taken on a significance for me. When I think about Lou Elizondo's 5 observables, that you know, basically saw 3 of the observables in that
Right.
that sighting.
So let me just ask you this now. When you were looking out the window there, is that something you did on a typical basis?
So
So do you feel like you in some way were drawn to that? I mean,
So, you know, that's a good question, Mark, because I'm not an early riser. And when I tell that story and I talk about how it was dawn, I rarely got up at dawn.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that even as a young kid, I would prefer to stay up late and wake up late. And to tell
Yeah.
you the truth, the fact that I was looking out the window at dawn was kind of an unusual
yeah.
situation.
The reason I mention that is a number of people have felt like they were drawn to look. That's something I
Yeah,
hear a lot. In many instances.
And I could tell you that was not a regular behavior for me.
Yeah.
You know, I think about now, why haven't I seen more UFOs? In fact, nowadays, at night I'll open the blinds when I go to bed,
Yeah.
thinking that maybe I'll catch something in the middle of the night.
Well,
And,
you won't see anything if you don't look.
That's right.
Right?
So right. And you know, the fact that I did see it at that time, and I have not seen anything since. Right, I have thought about that from time to time. Why
Yeah.
was I up that early in the morning? Why
Yeah.
did I happen to go out and look at that instant?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, thanks for sharing your story.
Okay, thanks, Martin.
All right.